know people not too long ago. Martin, you're a fan of them Angry Birds?
I had a period in time where I was stuck on that game and played it with every spare second I had.
You were, man. You were addicted. We be in movies, and I hear them birds. Ah! What you doing over there, man? He was addicted to it, and I was looking at his screen. I was like, I don't know what the hell this is. I was looking at the game, and I was like, that shit looks boring as hell. I said, that's it? Yes, sir.
It's physics puzzles.
You just breaking down pigs' home that they built and shit. Those birds are not only angry, they're assholes.
They're terrorists.
Terrorists, yeah.
I think we all know it's the pigs who are the problem.
Okay, you see, Martin, that's the thing. That's why I didn't really appreciate it, because I didn't get the whole story.
What do you mean whole story?
The whole story behind Angry Birds. I didn't know why they were angry. You know, I didn't know that those nice homes and fine-ass homes were built on the backs of the birds' eggs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know all this right there. So a lot of people in the world are like me, and they want to know the true story behind this mobile app right here. And that's funny because a lot of people are saying they're waiting for the.
It's like asking the true story behind checkers. Like,
yeah.
Like really?
If we can get that one day, I would appreciate that. Jenga and all that, man.
And we got Battleship already.
I think Michael Mann is making that movie next year.
Yeah, it's a documentary.
Oh, Lord.
But the thing is that a lot of people say, ooh, it's going to be funny. You know, all y'all done spend all this money on these video game movies, these big AAA video game movies. What if them birds came out, just a simple phone app? What is that? What if that was the best video game movie ever made? Well, you know, some people are giving surprising reviews of this positive, but we're going to go ahead and...
That's hard to believe because everybody's been like, man, Angry Birds.
Well, of course. Even a fan like you.
I ain't going to see that shit.
Yeah, I believe that was quoted by Martin Thomas.
I don't think I said that, but I heard that everywhere.
Well, whether you're saying that or not, you got it either way. Them birds got a full length motion picture right here. And it's dealing with the most popular bird, Red. He's been living a hard life. Red was abandoned as a child. He's got big ass Groucho Marx eyebrows people give him shit for. And of course he's walking around mad. And it wasn't too long before he went to court and they said, Red, hey man, this shit has got to stop. You need some anger management. So Red goes to anger management, meets a few friends, and because of his cynical disposition in life, people don't believe him when all of a sudden these green pigs show up on boats. And everybody's so happy all the time. Of course, it's the asshole guy that says, wait a minute, man, I don't trust them. Everybody like, oh, man, you don't trust nothing. You don't trust nothing. Shut the fuck up. We having fun with these pigs.
Only person they say something negative.
I know. Look at that bird right there. Shut the fuck up, Red. But turns out that Red might just be right as eggs start to disappear on the bird island. Now, I gotta tell you something myself right here. I'm not saying this is good. I'm not saying this is bad. All I'm saying is for a movie called Angry Birds, I don't think these birds were really that angry. I know it's a thing it sounds like I'm nitpicking, but I didn't really sense the anger with all these birds. You know, I've seen you want some anger from Inside Out. Mm-hmm. You know, Lewis Black. Now that's angry right there, blowing his top on fire and everything. You want some cartoon anger? See, I grew up with real genuine. I'm sorry.
My pony.
I'm angry. You want some real cartoon anger? I grew up with real. I grew up with characters with real problems. Ren and Stimpy. Ren had problems.
You turned Judy. I'm angry. I have never been this angry in my entire life.
Jesus.
When you gotta,
God damn.
I know. When you gotta choke a bitch, you get so angry, you get all psychedelic and shit. I mean, that's real anger right there. That's what I've grew up with. That's what I saw. Now the thing that is that I think kind of pulls us back a little bit, it has something to do with the writing, and it also has something to do with the casting. Jason Sudeikis. That's how you say his name, right?
Yeah.
Jason Sudeikis is Red. And Jason Sudeikis, I mean, he has a great voice. I told you, I loved everything that he's in. He's usually a highlight of a movie for me, but his voice it's warm. It's rich. Kind of nice, a little baritone to it. You know, it has a nice resonance.
He's already married, dude.
What?
Before you get too worked up. He's already married.
He go, oh no.
To Olivia Wilde.
Yeah, I know.
So you ain't no competition.
No, I'm still concentrating on Ryan Gosling and Channing Tatum. You know?
But secretly, you can't get them, so you got to drop it down a little bit.
Well, if I could.
Lower your standards to Jason Sudeikis.
But it wouldn't be too surprising because he does make me feel very relaxed. But I don't feel no anger in his voice right there. Another thing about Red, I was getting more angry in the movie than he was because Red let shit just happen to him that he should be mad about. But he don't get that angry. I'm telling you, he's not mad. Red would let people walk all over him, treat him like shit, and all he does is sit back and grumble and just make a little smart-ass comment about it.
Come on.
Hey, how's that nap schedule coming along?
Oh, boy. You guys ever thought about bird control?
That's all you got? That's it? I would looked at that little bird. I would be like, what the fuck you looking at? You know, that's anger right there. You know,
That's your anger.
I'm about to say, man.
We can make a movie with you.
yeah. We'll make one. Little bird sitting up there looking at his tongue at me. Fuck you. That's anger right there.
How many kids do you scream at a day?
Yeah, that's psychosis.
None, because they know to get the fuck out of my way. You know? They see me coming, they turn around, they look at me like that, stick the tongue out at me. You know, he's more like sarcastic bird.
Annoyed.
He's an annoyed, but like exactly annoyed bird. And the other birds in there they're not too angry either. You got one he's got gas problems. He got exploding farts. And they even got one of the angriest actors out there. Sean Penn does a voice in this. Sean Penn, we seen Sean Penn going off on people. Sean Penn kicking people. He'll beat a journalist's ass in a minute. Mad as hell. I thought, oh shit, we gonna get some real anger out of him. It's like, no, not really. He plays the character Terrence, and I know Terrence. I've seen some Angry Birds shorts. Terrence is that big old corn-fed ass bird. Sits up there and just looks at people. He don't get mad. He just look at people like,
This is Terrence.
You guys are all nuts, huh, big man?
Man, he's really terrified. Prison shit about to go down right there. I gotta give it to the animators. That is true confusion and terror right there.
So you're going to kill me?
Rape me?
What do you want?
Know. Confused bird. But when I look at this, the characters, I know it looks like I'm complaining. I'm nitpicking about nothing, but if you're gonna call them Angry Birds,
Well, you ain't lying.
I think the reason why I think if they're gonna be Angry Birds, make them angry, but because it would make them really stand out, live true to the title. Most of the other birds, you have what's the snowman's name from
Olaf.
Josh Gad.
Yeah.
Josh Gad. He's not angry. These characters are actually kind of happy. I mean, right there, he plays Chuck. Now Chuck, I think Chuck got a coke problem. You know, he's got an addiction, but angry? No, he's actually kind of happy. He's funny.
All that shit he just did right there in that clip. You gonna say that?
But man, come on. He had a sunny disposition the whole movie. Like he did some like sneaky shit, but he was happy.
He got a problem, but it ain't anger. He's a dick, but he ain't
Like he's
angry.
in anger management and he's just smiling and happy the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's seething on the inside. And it's pretty obvious, too.
Well, how did you get seething from that?
I like that Mars like, but he's hurting on the inside.
His heart is black.
He's hurting. He's angry. They're all angry.
He's creepy. He ain't angry though. Through the whole film, like who's the guy that plays Bomb?
Oh, Danny McBride.
Danny McBride. Bomb and Chuck. They're happy. They're so happy that they're annoying. They actually fuck with Red half the time with their, just as you say, with their happy disposition. Even though Bird's like, wait a minute, man, there's some kids with me going to that shit. But did you hear that? Now that's some real anger casting right there. That's Samuel Jackson. Now that's angry right there. It ain't like, ass be quiet. Oh, shut the fuck up. Ain't nothing like that, man. Ain't nothing like that good old fashioned Samuel Jackson anger right there. I looked today for a lot of clips. Now that's who they should have gotten to the movie.
I wasn't bankrupt yesterday, and I'm not bankrupt today!
I'm sorry, Mr. Gibson. The computer says you are.
The window is right there.
Yeah, but that window it would just bounce. You know you wouldn't send it to him unless you wanted a new computer.
I know.
The only way in a situation like that you would say that.
So like, I'm about to get a MacBook. Check this out. He ain't got no money, bro. What? Yo.
Fuck you. You know what I love?
I would give it to you.
Then Ben Affleck comes out of nowhere as the accountant.
Yeah. You know, I love when people get angry and shit don't work out like they wanted to. Like he just had in his mind, he gonna smash that window right there. Computer bounced off, hit him in the head. Shut!
That's rage, Martin. That's anger.
You guys, you have such a narrow definition of anger. That's the problem here.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I haven't reached all 5 stages yet. But,
Oh, you have. Your problem is you're angry all the time.
The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, so I never change.
Everybody else's 8 is your 3.
Look, man. I'm just saying that the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm not trying to make a joke. I'm not trying to be nitpicky here. It's just that these characters, they don't really stand out too much from any other family animated film out there, to me at least. When I look at this, I feel like if they had actually made these birds kind of angry in all kind of different ways, it would have made for some great jokes. I would think it would have made some great physical comedy. But I just feel like now they're just getting by on these characters being kind of loud, frantic. The stuff that you usually see animators do in an animated film that's kind of generic, like some parts of this. I think that a lot of times it's loud and it's frantic to just kind of to cover up for the fact that there is nothing really behind just these characters doing wacky stuff.
That's what I so much liked about this is Jason Sudeikis' character of Red being angry in a world where all the birds except for those 4 were just happy-go-lucky all the time, and you see this guy, and he's like, I love angry characters, especially when they try to hold it back because I know they're gonna blow. And he had that going on the whole time. He was angry, sarcastic. I expected nothing from this movie, and I was laughing pretty hard. I was like, wow, they actually tried. They wrote a lot of funny stuff, especially in the beginning, like funny sight gags, funny characters, funny interactions. The cast all worked. I thought, man, this is one of the funnier movies I've seen this year. At least for the first half.
I love the way you man, this was an Academy Award motion picture for the first 30 minutes.
You know what? And you probably don't want to hear that, but I agree with him. That first third of the movie, I thought it was great. I mean, the only thing that I'll probably say a little bit different than you was I didn't like the cast as much as you did because I kind of felt like they were basically just walked in and played themselves, and they weren't really being like the characters. So like you could obviously tell that's Josh Gad. That's definitely Jason Sudeikis, as opposed to movies like Zootopia, where he's like, is that Idris Elba? I don't know, or
really?
Jennifer Goodwin.
Like the Idris Elba was so Idris Elba.
Well, this is because you knew he was in it, though. That was the thing. I mean, that was for me, though. But like I said, this is how I felt. But with Zootopia, I kind of felt like they were involved in their characters, and with this one, it kind of felt like they just came into the studio and read their lines that day, or however they needed to do, and then just jetted. So I didn't really feel like there was any big passion behind that. The other thing I thought with the first third, I thought those set pieces and those jokes did hit hard, but it got to the point where they basically, some of the jokes lingered way too long, and some of them just kind of repeated themselves. Like, all right, we get it, we understand what's going on, and then the pig showed up, and that was what killed it for me because it's basically a ship full of Melissa McCartney's.
Okay, damn.
No, they were basically they were there to make crude jokes. They were there to be
I thought
fat.
you called Melissa McCarthy a pig.
No, Melissa McCarthy, you my girl until Ghostbusters come out. But it was they're just there to be fat, to fall down and make crude jokes, and to dance around and be goofy. So there really wasn't anything behind them, and even their motivation was just weird, and never didn't understand that.
Well, see, that's the thing about it, Martin. Now you asking, I'll put it back on those pigs right there. So you make a good point about those pigs, man. I mean, the movie, it purely does rip off a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
The pigs are just the minions from Despicable Me. This character, Chuck, is nothing but a rip-off of Quicksilver from the X-Men. They even rip off a scene directly from the X-Men. I'm like, God damn, come on.
Actually, that scene was in Over the Hedge way before either of those movies.
No, not to the capacity it was in X-Men.
Yeah, it was.
I have to go
Yeah,
back
very
and-
much so.
I will not argue.
Very much so.
I will not argue with you because I have not seen this. But I will do my due diligence and I will go research.
He's the only one here that's seen it. We're like, I want to argue, but I've never seen it.
I've seen
Yeah,
it
Corey's seen it.
just a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
But I will go back and do my research.
Yeah,
but
you'll see.
nonetheless. But anyway.
In fact, they did it in Hoodwink too.
Oh, not like they did
I mean,
here, though.
Hoodwink the first movie.
He had an X-Men suit on and everything. You didn't see that?
So who would you think Red ripped off of all the characters in history?
Red?
Yeah.
Red. That's the thing. Red is just a generic character.
Really?
Yeah, Red is Jason Sudeikis. You said it. However, I really did appreciate the visuals in this. Now, when the moment it got weird to me, or the weirdness stopped working for me, is when the green pigs showed up in pirate boats coming to party with the birds.
Greetings from my world, the world of the pigs.
What's a pig?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I totally was like, okay, I guess this is something I really have to play the game to understand because
No.
Okay.
No.
Because that's where not only did it just the weirdness kind of wore off of me because like I said, they kind of reminded me of Minions, but also that's where the movie kind of started to run out of steam. Look, I commend these animators. I commend them for taking this and making more out of it than anybody could have ever imagined them to do anything with. I look at this and I said, man, there's no way. As creative as I think, and as much I talk about writing is the key, y'all did a miracle with this.
They really did.
Yeah.
I mean, considering what the game is, they took the ball and they ran with it, and they ran far. And it's like, man, you guys did amazing. But there's still this part here that you have to include.
Martin, they ran, but
and they were just like, all right, back it up. Back it up.
Martin, they couldn't run for an hour and a half though.
I know.
They ran for an hour. Y'all kept it up. They got to the hour like, shit. Go on,
We're
man.
done right. Like, no, you got to haul that part back there.
Oh, and the reason why it stopped working for me at that point is because after an hour, they had a little bit of some subplot come in. I'll touch on that in a little bit. And then that's when they tried to bring in the gameplay. And the gameplay, I'm not saying it couldn't have worked, but that's where they just rushed it.
Yeah.
They said, we got to play the game.
Yeah.
So I got to the climax, and they're like, okay, so we just going to get in a slingshot and just start fucking with these pigs, get our eggs back. And it really felt like it was rushed. For all the visual stuff that they were doing, it's clever right here too. But it's it really does feel like, oh yeah, that's right. We got to put something in here that resembles the game.
Yeah, it's like a really good team of animators, a great team of animators that got a shit assignment and they did the best they could with it, but ultimately it was only so far it could go.
I respect what they did for this. I'm not saying that it's a bad movie. It's not bad. It's just not that good for me either. It's just kind of like, all right, it really does feel like we had something that was popular at one time, and it's not even that popular that much anymore, but they're like, oh, well, we still got a little bit of juice left in this and we can squeeze. Let's try to get that money. And from a studio standpoint, yeah, one of those cynical cash grabs. From an animator standpoint, they had as much fun with this as they could. It'll be fun for the kids. As far as the adults go, I don't know. Martin liked it, but I can't speak for everybody else. All I know is that I wouldn't want to see this at the theater. I'd be a little disappointed. I'd have to wait for home video for this, and that's why I'm giving it a rental. Martin's like, full price.
Oh, please go for
You
it.
goddamn Renault. I won't say that this is the best video game movie that's been made so far, but it might be. Could be. At least first third is. Like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed it in the beginning. It just made me sad that it couldn't hold that together. I wasn't at all sorry I saw it in the theater. But it is one of these things where you know ultimately it is for kids, and it comes down to, is it a kids movie that you just want to drop your kid off and go like, hey, have fun.
Yeah.
I'll see you later. Is it one that you will rent for them because you're like, I ain't putting no money towards that? Or is it one you can sit down and watch with them and get some enjoyment out of? And I feel it's that. And so I give it a matinee.
Okay.
Good one.
Again, to comment on what you said, I think that frantic pace was like one of the main things I enjoyed about this, as well as the animation. But one of the biggest things, and this is something I think we all hate in movies, is those goddamn musical numbers.
Oh, yeah.
And there was like 5 of them in this movie. So yeah, this whole movie I was floating between. I was like, all right, like especially in the first third, I was like, this might be a full price like matinee.
Yeah.
This is great. And then once it got to the pigs and all the musical numbers and Red, you said Red didn't really rip off anybody anybody to you, I thought he was basically Shrek because he lives off somewhere by himself and then he comes in and helps the family and takes on a monarchy. But like at the end of the day, man, I feel like this is just something that it would work out better if you literally get it on Redbox, just watching at home with your kids. I feel like if you want to take them out to see something, there are better movies out there to do that. And with this, man, I'll go ahead and give it a rental.
Give it a rental. Well, I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you did that. I was about to get mad at y'all. I was about to be like this bird right here. Boy, now you, Martin.
That is you. These last couple of weeks, you've done that the exact same thing.
God damn it, Danielle!
Do I need to stop the show again?
Shut up!
I like puppets. Chill.